Hi, I am Sabrina Scott, the president of the Five Spheres of Fit, and I'm here with Noel Scott, the founder. The Five Spheres of Fit is a lifestyle strategy that constantly evolves with you. As a reminder, the five spheres are the physical sphere, the mental, the financial, the social, and the educational spheres. Hi, Noel. I wanted to talk to you today about the holiday blues and the five spheres and how they correlate. Um, this time of year is supposed to be a very joyous time full of celebration, good spirits, but unfortunately, that is not the case for so many people. And there are valid reasons for that. I did want to share a statistic I found quite shocking. A Healthline survey found that 65% of Gen Z were stressed out by the holiday season, a higher number than millennials and boomers. And so, Gen Z, for the people out there listening, are ages 11 to 26. I mean, I find that alarming. I mean, I are they getting these feelings of sadness, the blues, loneliness from their parents, people that have raised them. I mean, 11 to 26. This is way too young to be feeling blue over the holidays. I mean,
It's
I
extraordinary.
want time to watch Elf and Home Alone and put up the Christmas tree, but it really saddened me, that statistic. What are your thoughts?
Sabrina, every time we do a podcast, I'm actually really interested because I know you do a lot of our preliminary research and preparation for it, but always thinking about how the impact of the things that we're talking about is on different generations. And I'm a little surprised, but it does seem to me that there is a pattern here where Gen Z seems to be significantly more impacted uh, than other generations. And I don't know if it's their willingness to share the fact that they've been impacted, or if it's a willingness to be surveyed and to talk openly about the challenges in their life, their sadness, their happiness. Perhaps that has something to do with it. Millennials maybe are a little less or reluctant to have a conversation about their feelings per se, and
True.
certainly our generation, nothing's ever wrong. We're getting better, I think, at addressing some of our challenges, but I think it goes right to the heart of, younger people are just more willing to share. At least I hope so, and I think it's. By the way, I think that's great. It's something I always aim for myself. So.
That is such a good point. And I'm going to share something I did not anticipate sharing. So you're going to be like, oh, you actually shared that. Um,
Okay.
so the other day, our daughter, Naima, our family was over for Thanksgiving, and our daughter says, Mom, does Nani, who is her maternal grandmother, does Nani know that I started therapy? And I said, no. And she goes, should I tell her? And I said, well, let's tell her later. And maybe I should be there so I can answer her questions because she is going to be very worried. Like, why is she going to therapy? And we'll save the reasons why for another episode. But she did just start going to therapy and nothing too serious, but why not? And so my mom watches these episodes. So now she knows that, and mom, you can ask me any questions you have. Everything is fine. But my point being, yesterday, our daughter came home and said that there's a little friend group that she has, and she's fine with them, but two of the girls are not talking to one of the other little girls. And they were doing a test in PE, and one of the little girls dropped out because she felt that the other two were supporting our daughter and not her. And Naima got upset with the other two girls and said, guys, like, you can't be mean. One of the reasons I go to therapy is to deal with certain things like, when my cousins treat me a certain way, it makes me feel like I want to disappear. And that's how you're making her feel. And I was so proud of her for talking about those feelings because the other two girls were like, we're sorry, you're right. And we're going to go talk to her. And I think my point in saying all this is because you're right. I think this generation is talking about their feelings and not making it a bad thing to say, hey, I want to go talk to someone about my mental health or about my lack of social fitness. And
Mhm.
that's okay. So,
They're seeing it more too, Sabrina, in popular media, social media, other outlets. They're seeing this ability to reach out for help. And I think that's just so wonderful. I mean, I wish I had it as a kid. I certainly had plenty of challenges myself as a young child and adolescent and into even into adulthood, let's be honest. And the fact that they're seeing all of these resources is wonderful, and that they're seeking them out and recognizing that it's okay to utilize them. Like you were saying with our daughter, Naima is a well-adjusted kid, but I think her ability, or her situation of being an only child, does have its challenges, and I think therapy for her to have someone unbiased outside the home to chat with about her feelings and about the things that are happening in her life is so critical to her development. And as someone who's not in, who didn't have that as a kid, I value that. I want her to
absolutely.
be a
It
version
has
of her.
nothing to do with a parent's skills
Mm,
or, they're doing the wrong thing or right thing, or this kid has so many challenges. It has nothing to
right,
do with that. It's just bettering yourself, becoming a more well-rounded person. It means, you know what, if I am going through a tough time, it's okay to go talk to someone because this is life and it's hard. And so that takes me to this holiday season. And for many, it is a tough time. So I wanted to go through a few um scenarios or obstacles that people go through. The first being loneliness. Loneliness in your social sphere really has an impact on your other spheres. It can impact your mental sphere, cause depression. It can cause physical challenges. That loneliness just makes you feel like I may get stomach aches. I'm so down about the holidays and feeling lonely that you just physically worn. So that's one thing.
right.
um
It's
Take it to the next. Oh, go ahead.
Tis the season to not go crazy, which kind of takes us to maybe our next point, which is, you know it's the holiday season and it's the time to exchange gifts, gift giving, and for many folks, that can present a challenge in and of itself, because it it's expensive, and if you've got lots of people to give for, it could turn into something that's a little bit overwhelming. So that financial stress that one may feel, and obviously tapping into your financial sphere, you just want to make sure that whatever you're doing, and I love gift giving, sense of doing that is so selfless and wonderful. And if you're doing it for the right reasons, it can feel so good for you mentally. And so it's just so important, though, from a financial standpoint, to recognize your situation and make sure that you're not overextending yourself beyond what you're capable of doing. I think most people, Sabrina, and you'll probably agree at this point, especially as we get older, it's not so much the gifts that you receive, but the thought. And I remember as a kid, it was like they're always told, "Oh, it's not the gift, Noel. It's the thought that counts." And I'm like, "That's crazy. I want this gift, right?" And
Except these white elephant gifts. If you're playing white elephant, stop putting
right,
cheesy gifts in the
yeah,
pile.
yeah. I mean, let's be honest. Just put a nice bottle of wine.
If you can afford it. And this is like the whole thing.
Yeah, yeah. And if you,
Go to the dollar store. There's like cute stuff there. Don't worry about the price. Try to enjoy it without worrying about what people will think with what you give them. So the next one is stress of New Year's resolutions. Look, New Year's resolutions, whatever challenges you have on December 31st, you're going to have them on the 1st unless you start working on them. New, New Year's resolutions, I believe in them, but I also believe on working on yourself throughout the year. Don't put the pressure on yourself that you have to do everything on January 1st. Okay? Be
which
realistic about it. Use the 5 Series app to put all your challenges that you want to overcome, all your resolutions, and work on them one by one. Don't put all that pressure on yourself.
Absolutely. Which is funny. I'm kind of chuckling, Sabrina, because as you know, my birthday is January 1st. So I put an incredible amount of pressure on myself because right when I go to blow the candle out, there's a birthday wish and I got to wish for something. And because it's like the beginning of the year, I'm typically thinking about, well, what can I do to better myself or change things if they're not in great order. So I'm always I'm always a little conflicted. That being said, I agree with you 100% on the New Year's resolution. Be realistic. Don't overdo it. You don't have to work to impress anyone. Work to be the best version of yourself, and that's true with just about everything else you're going to do.
Right.
That takes me to one that I've always really struggled with around this time, which is family pressures. I guess this taps right back into our social sphere. And oftentimes during the holidays, we know we get together as families, close friends, whatever the case might be. It's important to recognize that you're very fortunate if you are able to get together with family. And that's the number one thing I want to impress upon people. If you have a family and you are able to get together for the holidays, consider yourself lucky. There are those who don't have that option. I've lost both my parents. I don't have that option to have mom and dad at Christmas. Obviously, I have your parents, but you understand my point there. So be thankful for that. But also understand that if you do have conflicts with family members, try to find your happy medium where you can coexist in a room, if that's the case, or just at a holiday dinner, whatever it is. And just try to find some inner peace with that, recognizing it's the holidays. Try to find joy. It's the end of a year. Perhaps you're celebrating some successes and take stock in that. Don't overwhelm yourself by some relationship that may not be where you want them to be.
No, no, we sent
Healthy
out a
by
news
myself.
Yes. We send out a newsletter, a 5 series
Mhm.
newsletter called The Roadmap every 2 weeks. And in tomorrow's newsletter, there's a great article about family pressures and setting boundaries and how to do so. It's an article, um, I believe it's put out by BetterHelp. And if you would like to join our newsletter, just, shoot us an email, go to our website, the5seriesoffit.com, and or you can Google BetterHelp, family pressure boundaries. So setting those boundaries, it's a great tool to give you steps on how to set those boundaries. Another challenge people face during this time is, gosh, abandoning healthy habits, the drinking and the eating. It is a lot. There are a lot of festivities, a lot of celebrations, and you need to, I think, before, and we'll go through a list of things to help you with right now, but you have to go in with a plan before you go into this party. Think about, okay, I'm going to go in and have one drink, or today's going to be I'm going to enjoy today, but tomorrow I'll get back on track. So go in with a plan, whatever plan works for you, and even look for resources that help you come up with a plan for this month.
Hey, I'm going to drop a little self promotion in there, Sabrina. So we just came out of Thanksgiving. It was Sunday. I said to myself, man, I don't normally eat like that. In fact, I fast quite a bit. I don't normally eat quite as heavy as I did during that time. And then obviously the drinking was more than was probably necessary, but I had a great time. That being said, I hit a 24-hour fast day one of the start of this week. Then I hit a 22-hour fast. I'm currently operating on what will probably be a 20-hour fast. My point being is find what works for you during that time. And Sabrina, you make great points. And I just want to add that there's so many resources, whether it's on the 5 Spheres of Fit app or just generally on the internet that you're utilizing. To find resources to manage all of that. This takes us to one of our next topics, which is traveling. And I think it's so important recognizing that traveling involves lots of different things, just not the nature of travel, but the foods that you might be consuming while you're traveling. So that factors in as well. But to my point, traveling, planning and making sure you have enough time to get to your destinations, then obviously enjoying the journey. And I mean that literally and I mean that figuratively. Obviously, you're traveling somewhere. Make it a worthwhile thing. Have a positive attitude no matter what you're going into. And if you already are on a high or thinking positively about the upcoming trip, think about the things that you can also be doing that you may need to rest from. And that's important too. And another point I would want to make about traveling is recognizing that if you're someone who in your social sphere has social anxiety disorder or fears of crowds or that sort of thing, be prepared for that. Put a game plan together to sort of manage that, recognizing it's natural, but if you're feeling anxiety or any sort of pressure, that you have your decompression game plan for that as well. I think remembering all of those keys will be important to being able to get through the holiday travel season. And be prepared chargers, because you're probably going to get stuck at an airport somewhere. So
It's true. Okay. The last one, and I think, this one will hit my family more so this year, is loss of a loved one. We just had a loss in our family. My aunt, I know for my cousins, for my mother, who's her sister, it's gonna hit hard this year, because we all spent time together during the holidays. So, um, for everyone dealing with that out there, our hearts are with you. And I don't think, the 5 spheres is about organizing, evaluating, and problem solving. And I know, this one, the loss of a loved one, how do you problem solve that? It's hard. Your heart's involved. So, but plan ahead for the fact that it is going to be hard this holiday season. So, with these challenges, our points of bringing this up, there could be more out there that people are dealing with, but we wanted you to know that you can, with many of these, organize, evaluate, and problem solve. Really plan ahead for the emotions, the mental stress, physical, financial stress that come along with the challenges we just discussed. But we want to go through a list of things that you can do for yourself during the holiday season, to combat or prevent these holiday blues. So the first one is, take care of your physical being. Continue to eat good if you are, to eat well if you are, and if you're not, you want to start eating well before January 1st, do it. Why not? Beat those holiday New Year's resolutions and start now. If you are exercising, continue exercising, even if it's a 20-minute walk with, a family member, yourself to decompress, a pet, and then sleep. Sleep is such a big thing. At least for me, if I don't sleep enough, I am a monster and it affects all my spheres. So sleep. So please take care of your physical health this holiday season. And I
yeah,
see you laughing. What did you want to say about my monster behavior?
make sure that that special someone in your life does get enough sleep. Hey, if they don't. The other thing Sabrina, you said earlier, I think this is proven to be true in just about everything that we do, and that is to be realistic. So whatever your plans are for the holidays and the way you're managing those, be realistic. Realistic with the expectations of what you've got going into the holidays. Be realistic about your reactions, if you will. Understand that if you have triggers or you get certain anxieties, uh, be realistic about those and plan for them, manage them, get ahead of them. This is the organization, evaluation, and problem solving. That's exactly what you're doing there by getting ahead of that.
Great.
Uh, the other thing, obviously, to when you're dealing with things during the holiday seasons, is just to give yourself some grace along the way as well. So.
I like that one. We talked about financial pressures. Create a budget and
Mhm.
stick to it. You and I, we create a list of everyone we want to buy gifts for. I was going to say need to, but it
Yeah.
shouldn't be need to. It's we want to buy presents for. Create a list, create a budget, stick to that budget. Put aside that pressure that I have to get them this expensive gift. And if they don't like it, they don't like it. That's their problem, not yours. Just as long as you go in with good intention, good energy, but create a budget and do your best to stick to it.
And tapping right back into the social sphere, if you are going into the holiday season and you do have an opportunity to connect with family members that we may have not seen or have chosen not to see, or vice versa, um, think about taking this period to set aside differences, to give grace, to give forgiveness if that's something that you're dealing with someone else, whether that's a friend or a family member, whomever it may be. These are important qualities that just give you inner peace. And I think it's important to kind of keep that in mind, particularly in your social sphere. The other thing I would say is learn to say no. Just because there's so much going on during the holiday season, you feel like you have to be a part of it, you feel you have to be engaged in it. You can say no to things. And that is uh, probably the biggest point I can make with respect to uh, uh, dealing with your own anxieties, dealing with your own stresses. Sometimes we put ourselves in environments that bring stress. We know that they're going to do that. So it's okay to say no. It's okay to.
That's one I've been practicing in my life for many, many years, and I think this year I'm finally doing better at it. So when it comes to the holidays, if it's going to be a late night, at a holiday gathering, and I know I need my sleep, I'm going to say either no or yes, but I will be back home by this time. I plan ahead. And you and I have done this. As a married couple, I'll tell you, I will go, but we are leaving by
Yeah.
9 p.m.
We have
Have a
go
plan.
words. Yeah, we have go words. That's our plan of escape. If I say, looks like the Patriots are having a great season, that means we're taking off.
That's right. That's right. It's okay to take a breather. So, I'll give you an example. You're at a family event and it's overwhelming. It's okay to go outside and take a break, go for a little walk. And even if, the family's like, where are you going? What are you doing? Or aren't you going to play this game with us? No, it's okay to take time for yourself. I know every day, Noel, you do 15 minutes of decompression time. And I respect that because I know how valuable it is to your physical and mental health. So, don't worry about what anyone else says. Don't worry about their judgments. You take breathers when you need it. Um, and then one more I wanted to talk about was focus on what's meaningful for you during the holiday season. So I encourage everyone, as you're listening to this, just take out a paper or do it on your phone in notes. Um, Write a list of what you enjoy about the holiday season, what is meaningful. Maybe there's at least one thing, So I encourage you to write that down and repeat it. Go over it as many times as you can, so it sinks in that there is at least one positive thing for you during this holiday season.
That's great advice, Sabrina. And I would also encourage the audience to recognize that the holidays are generally celebratory in nature. So celebrate it. Whether you're celebrating the holiday, whether you're celebrating yourself, the fact that you made it through another year, the fact that it's the end of the year, and maybe you're closing on something in a positive way, or you're putting to rest something that was negative during the year, and you can say, "Hey, you know what? I'm going to leave this behind." This year and move forward into the next, and you start making your New Year's resolutions. But really give yourself some grace, have some gratitude, be celebratory, and enjoy yourself so that you can be positive and the best version of yourself in all of your five spheres.
Absolutely. One thing I did want to tell everyone, if things are really tough, it is important to seek professional help. Even during the holiday season, please do it. We are going to post these resources in all the comments in the notes for this episode, but I'm going to read through them really quick, Noel. The first one is the Mayo Clinic hotline. They have a mental health over the holidays hotline. It is 1-800 854 7771. Again, I'm going to put these in the notes. Mental Health America website, it's mhanational.org. They have a few different programs that are helpful. One is Warm Lines, the other one is a chat group, and there are a couple others. The 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline, call or text 988 or chat 988lifeline.org. Another one is Crisis Text Line. It's MHA and it's 741-741. And the last one, if you're looking for local support groups, please call your primary care physician or mental health professional for information on any local support groups. Of course, you can even just do a quick search online for that. It is so important. Noel and I can talk about, creating a plan and using the five spheres, but, sometimes things are just so tough that we need professional help, and that is okay. Please know, the holidays are, there is a lot of pressure, and from family, financially, socially. So please, if you need help, do not hesitate. I will put these resources in the notes for anyone who needs them. And
Wonderful.
so, yes. So with that, I want to wish everyone a holiday season. Please remember, if you can write down one thing that you makes you happy during this time, please do so. And if anyone ever wants to reach out to us, we are also here to talk. Right, Noel?
Absolutely. Happy holidays to everyone out there. I hope you have a safe and joyful holiday season. Take care of yourself and take care of each other.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.